He had his little nap, his little rest after a very busy transfer window, and he woke back up and he said, I want more transfer news. I'm going to give you some more transfer news pertaining to the midfield rebuild that's coming next summer, as Flex mentioned early on. According to transfer insider Fabrizio Romano via Court Offside, Manchester United could be set to target Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace next summer. Romano said on his YouTube channel, quotes, I think if something happens, it's going to be after the World Cup. But for sure, now the focus of the player is on Crystal Palace. That means next summer there's going to be a big bidding war for Adam Wharton. Romano said, quote, he didn't want to move this summer and he was not pushing for a move because he's fully focused on Crystal Palace. Then in 2026, I would not be surprised if something happens because Premier League clubs, but also clubs in Spain, including Real Madrid, are monitoring the boy. And so let's see what's going to happen, which raises the question, Flex, if we were to go for Adam Wharton next summer, I mean, this is quite difficult, isn't it? It's quite difficult when it comes to football's a lot can happen in a year. A lot can happen by the end of the season, as we saw last season, right? Can we compete, with a Real Madrid if they really want to go get Adam Wharton next summer? I mean, we did it before with Lenny Yoro, I suppose. Can we do that?
Well, football metric at this moment would say probably not. Like, if they're in for him, like, this isn't like an emerging kid for like 50 minutes. This is double the like, this is super stuff going on here. Then I would say no. But the allure of Man United and staying in the Premier League and staying in England to someone like Adam Wharton, I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I do remember his interview when he first got into the England squad. And he was talking about his life and how he lives his life. And he's really quiet, not many friends, just likes to chill with his family. I'm not saying that's why he will never go to Spain and he'll never want to learn Spanish. I'm not doing that. But he did strike me as someone that's like, I could see him playing for one of the big teams in England if they came. But listen, I'm not going to take anything away from the boy in terms of, his ambition to go and play for one of the greatest clubs ever in Real Madrid. So I was probably doing him a disservice, but that's probably my Man United bias, just sort of being like, he's quite quiet. Maybe might just want to go up the M6 instead. I don't know. But it would make it a lot more difficult, especially, going, it doesn't even matter what type of season Real Madrid have, actually. If they come knocking, it's Real Madrid. So it would make it extremely difficult. Rivals and neutrals would say, look at these stupid Man United fans thinking they got a chance of getting someone like him against someone like, Real Madrid. But you have to believe in yourself, right? And if the work's being done, which, listen, we don't know. We don't know what's being done behind the scenes. We don't know how this is going to work. If it's being done and you can convince him, then there's every chance. But the work has to be put in from now. That's for sure. You have to make it clear that you want to sign these types of players this early. And I don't know where we're at with the Carlos Baleba thing. Is it as transparent as we will just go back in for him in January? Yeah. A lot of people think we'll be able to do that. I don't think we will. I don't think we'll be getting Carlos Baleba in January, but at the summer, or could we see something crazy? Could Man United go and get both of these players? Probably
maybe. Well, you never know. And look, when it comes to Carlos Baleba, look, he might have a season at Brighton when we go, actually, I tell you what, maybe
that happens.
Maybe we kind of leave that one a little bit. Maybe we just kind of wait and see. I don't feel like we'll get that with Adam Wharton. It feels like, well, I was about to say Palace are a stable side. They are, but it feels like there could be this big explosion happening soon with Crystal Palace, isn't there?
That's got a few injuries though. I do.
That does have a couple of injuries,
Let's have a look at.
But then when it comes to Carlos Baleba, with this start to the season that he has had, he missed a load of preseason as well, didn't he? Because at one point people were making the conspiracy that, he's not playing for Brighton because he's on his way to United, where actually he was just injured, right? So it's kind of a twofold issue. There's one with the whole Wharton and Baleba, could they happen? But also we still need to figure out what we're going to do with our existing midfield, right? Because if you're going to do this whole midfield change, people have to leave too. We saw it with the front three this past summer, right? With the front three that was previously there, Højlund, Rashford, Garnacho, they all have to go to make space for these new people to come in. So then there naturally has to be a conversation of, right, Casemiro, his contract's coming up, he'll go. Bruno, does he end up going this time to Saudi? Is next summer going to be the time that he actually does go? Ugarte, right? Second season, if he stinks out the
He'll be gone.
season,
I think he'll be gone.
2 seasons and you're out. Is
Yeah.
that what it is? Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think the surgery will come, excuse me, quite naturally because, like you said, Casemiro will be gone. That's an instant. Obviously, he's not going to get contract renewal. He's in his last year. Yeah, he's in his last year. He's in his last year. That's gone quick. 5 years. Is that
4,
5 years?
I think they've got an option for with an option
right.
of a plus one.
Right. They ain't
surely
going to trigger that.
Surely. Could you imagine?
No. So he's not going to get there. They'll obviously refuse the option. And, you never know. Depending on how things go. And this is what's
not for that
what's
money,
funny.
surely.
No, what? Trigger?
Yeah.
No. I'm not going to say that. So
well, think about this, Flex. We're talking about these midfielders that could go next summer, right?
Yeah.
So we're saying Casemiro, saying Bruno, saying Ugarte. We haven't even brought up Cobby, which still could be a thing next
If he doesn't play enough, he'll definitely want to. It could be the whole thing.
That's 4 midfielders could go, let alone like what happens if, Mason Mount does have more injuries this season. We're saying about 2 seasons and you're out and what have you. Maybe Ineos might just go, that's enough. But even that, it's like, we're talking about like 4 or 5 midfielders that could go next season. So that would suggest that,
Major
all right, Adam Wharton, it might be, we might be looking at 2 or 3.
Which is why we might have to do stuff in January, because, you got to get ready for it. And that is what is, I don't really want to use the word exciting because we wanted this done already. We could see this is a huge problem, but clearly, okay, they've prioritized the attack and the goalkeeper and they've got it fixed. So the middle, why I was sort of in inverted commas using the term excited, it's like there is going to be major surgery here and I'm intrigued to see what this is going to look like. Now, excitement is like, oh no, they're cooking. Oh, bring me Baleba. Oh, Wharton, I know we are cooking. But then it could look like he's right. We did want Conor Gallagher at the last bit of, that summer. So we got him on a permanent 20 mil. I don't know who else. I can't even think off the top of my head, but not those like beautiful names that we were maybe thinking of. So I need them to get it right. That's why I'm like excitement. I don't know. I'd say intriguing.
Yeah,
that's the word I'm going to use with it because Wharton I think would be a fantastic signing. But Baleba, obviously, I don't think there's any infighting amongst us that's like, oh, I'll tell you what, Wharton, no, we don't need that type here. No, everyone, we don't agree on a lot at Man United as fans. But like I said the other day on DR, Onana is one thing we all agree on.
Yeah.
The fact that the midfield needs work, we all agree on. The fact that Adam Wharton's wicked, and like we'd all have him, I think we all agree on. And I think Baleba, because remember when the Baleba thing was happening? It was us when we went, actually, spending 100 million on Carlos Baleba, is he worth?
Yeah,
is that all right?
Breaking our own records. You know what I mean? It'd be one of those ones, like you said, we don't really do it. Maybe this is kind of why the issue was moved to next summer, was because there was this feeling of, look, there's so much work that needs to be done there that we don't want to not give it the amount of time that's actually appropriately needed for it, because we're just saying actually on the horizon, we've got 2 or 3 midfield exits. So even on top of the signings that we were intending to make, there might have to be 1 or 2 extra just to fill out that whole department in general, which maybe they were just kind of like, we can't really do that in the last couple of weeks of the window. We could drop 1 person in, but there's still a lot more work that we're going to address it next summer anyway, because so many people are going to be coming and going. So that's something that I think is quite interesting. But it's not to say that it's not going to be difficult, because Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba, it's not like we're going to get a free run at them next summer.
Way.
If people know they're on the market.
Clubs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If they're on the market, they're on the market, and that's what makes it difficult. I mean, if you look at potential suitors for these players, that's what I wanted to get into. And I want to also talk about Adam Wharton, the player, as well, because I do think he is very, very good. Suitors, I mean, you look at Arsenal and they just look set. Like at the end of this season, But it depends on a lot of stuff. At the end of the season, would another £100 million midfielder be at the top of their list? And you go, well, if they didn't win the
Arteta's
league
in love with
again,
midfielders. That's
and
all he
he loves
does.
midfielders and defenders, but you've got Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, obviously Norgard back up, Marino. Where does Adam Wharton fit into that? Do you drop Zubimendi? I don't know. It doesn't seem like the obvious. Makish says it there. Chelsea, they're the ones you have to look out for. They're the ones that will say, you know what? Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Palmer, guess what? We're just getting Wharton as well. 100 M's. Caicedo, Wharton, you know what I mean? Palmer in the 10. Enzo, you could either get sold or you're fighting for a position. We don't care. We'll do it. Chelsea, definitely. You could see Chelsea doing that. Chelsea, Liverpool.
I mean, they could. I mean,
why not?
Look, they just signed Alexander Isak when they'd already bought Ekatike, and it was like he's doing really well. There was even a real conversation, wasn't there, about that Isak one as time was going on of, do they actually need him? do they actually need him?
Yeah.
I mean,
now everyone's saying, what are you going to do with TK? What are you going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's
Liverpool
good to have.
don't care.
But Liverpool, they could get Adam Wharton. City, with a season that they may have, who knows what they're gonna where they're gonna end up. They'll be like, we need more, need fresh. Newcastle, they'd look at it and go like, there's loads of teams.
So really, when we look at they're set, it's probably no.
Any big team.
Any big team obviously would take him, but any big team could find a way where they're like, that's good. Then you're adding in Real Madrid. So it's going to be very, very difficult to get him / convince him as well. But him as the player, I think he's excellent. I think at the start, you're skeptical. He comes from Blackburn and you're like, okay, he's had a few good performances. Let's calm it down. Let's have a look at him first. Let's see the body of work. And then when you watch this guy, he's just so calm on the ball. Always wants to pass forward. Always passes through the third. Mobile, can sniff out the danger. And I think he proper reminds me of Carrick. Like the way that he can be like this deeper line player and set the tone. Do you know what I mean? And then when he has to have like an injection of like pace into the pass with a crispness, like a bit of a wand of the left foot. Like not that obviously Carrick's right-footed, but he can pass with both feet. But when I look at him, I just think Carrick. I just think him.